Well, hello. I decided to go ahead and do middle grade March this year. It's the first time I will ever be doing it, officially anyway. I guess I did do a lot of middle grade marches years ago before it probably even existed. Just any month of the year, reading nothing but middle grade for a month or two at a time. I think that's one thing that I love about readathons is these are things that a lot of us did before BookTube even existed. We just did them on our own for fun. There are 5 different prompts. If you see little ears down here, that's Zelda. I decided to lower you down so that you could see Zelda. The prompts are an award winner, but not the Newbery Award, a sci-fi / dystopian book, or dystopian book, a book with sky or sea on the cover, a book with a neurodiverse character, and a book published in the last year. For a book with the sky or sea on the cover, I chose Wish by Barbara O'Connor. Isn't that a beautiful cover? I mean, this would look cute if it was a print framed on the wall or something. It's so pretty. I love these colors. I just finished this book. It's about a little girl named Charlie whose dad has gone to prison. And her mom is very depressed and in bed and not wanting to get out of bed or do anything to raise her or her sister. Her older sister Jackie is a senior in high school. She's almost 18. So social services decides that they are going to let Jackie just go stay with a friend until she's 18. But they decide that Charlie is going to go live with her mom's sister Bertha and her husband Gus. Gus and Bertha don't have any kids, and they live in a very small town, whereas Charlie had lived in a city. And she gets there and she doesn't want to be there, and she wants to be with her parents. She wants to go home, and she makes a wish every time she possibly can. She's got all these superstitions that she knows of where when this happens you make a wish, and when that happens you make a wish, and that kind of thing. And she's trying to fit into a new school. She makes this friend named Howard, and he's a really sweet boy. She sees this homeless dog and feels like this dog needs to be her dog, and she starts wishing that this dog could be hers. And so her and Gus and Howard, they all start trying to figure out how to get this stray dog to go to their house and live with them. And she decides before she gets this dog that she wants to name him Wishbone. And I don't want to give anything else away about the book, but the whole book is about her trying to adjust to her new life and accept where she is, and she's having a really hard time doing that. She just wants to be at home with her mom and dad. She feels very abandoned by her family. She feels abandoned by her sister, who's trying to move on with her life and create a life, and I feel really bad for her. In some ways, I feel like I can relate to her, and the moral of this story is what was so beautiful about this book, and that is that we are all dealt a hand of cards, and we have to figure out what to do with the cards that we're dealt and how to maneuver them to create a happy life, how to figure out what blessings we have, and to not worry so much about the person next to us who maybe has a better hand. The truth is, a lot of times, especially in this day and age with social media, I think we tend to think that other people have perfect lives, these nice, shiny, clean lives with homes with no clutter and no dirty clothes in the laundry room and that kind of thing. It's so easy to get caught up in the superficial things that we see. the appearance of things. But that doesn't mean that other people are happier than us. And we might have more blessings than we think if we concentrate on our blessings. And I think it's important to remember that just because somebody has a hand that we think looks pretty, it doesn't mean that their lives are deeper in love than ours. They might be living in a very shallow pool, right? And we might be living in a really deep pool with lots of love and lots of blessings and lots of happiness and laughter. And I thought this book was very beautiful. It was very sweet. I got very attached to Charlie, and it was a very quick read. I definitely recommend it. I think that it would be good for anyone who is looking to learn a lesson about the cards that we're dealt in life. But I also think it'd be a good book for anyone who loves books about friendship, or about what makes family family, or about the love of a dog. For a book that was published in the last year, I chose In Honor of Broken Things by Paul Acampora. And I'll just read the synopsis of this one to you. During introduction to clay class, Oscar Villanueva, Riley Baptiste, and Noah Wright become surprising friends and unlikely artists, despite the fact that Oscar, who just lost his little sister to cancer, is supposed to be a football superstar. Riley, a city girl dragged away from Philadelphia by her single mom, is still confused by life in a tiny Pennsylvania coal town that's smaller than her old middle school. And Noah, who's spent his whole life as a homeschooler, is a brand new classroom student as a result of his parents' train wreck of a divorce. Through art, laughter, football, faith, and tears, the friends work to piece themselves back together. They also discover that some injuries may never heal, some scars never fade, and some things can never be unbroken. And maybe that's okay. This book is dedicated to any kid who has ever felt broken. It sounds like it's going to be a sweet book. In case you're curious what it looks like underneath the jacket, it's just a really pretty light blue book. I have had a really good day. I went and had lunch with some people that I work with. I meet up with them once a year, and we go out to lunch, and we always go to the same place down on the Strip in Vegas. And we had a really good lunch together with lots of laughter and fun. And I came home, I took a nap, and I finished Wish, and now I'm talking to you. I'm going to start this next book in my middle grade March readathon reading list, and I will get back to you when I'm done with this book. We've had some really weird weather in Vegas because of the storms that keep coming into, sorry about the camera, the storms that keep coming into California are kind of giving us a lot of rainy days and a lot of wind and overcast weather, and they're saying there's another storm coming in today. So look at this. This is a huge cricket that has been living in our birdhouse. And I don't know if he's leaving or not. It seems like he's there all the time now. Like he's just decided he doesn't like the wind and this is his home. I don't know if I should bring him some gifts. I don't want to scare him though. But he's welcome to live there. I love that. I think that's wonderful. But I just had to show you that because I think that's kind of cool that this cricket is living in there. It's interesting that he's clinging to the side though, not just laying down in the back, but I don't know a lot about crickets. You can see him even better from this angle. I wanted to give you an update. I have read a number of books since I last talked to you. And I've just been kind of reading up a storm, and I'm sorry I haven't been filming the vlogish part of my videos as much, but you guys don't really seem to mind. videos of my pets and then me talking about books, and then videos of the pets and me talking about books. So, and really there's not much new in my life except that I've been reading a lot. Brad's been working a lot of overtime, which opens up the door for me to read and read and read. I had a busy day at work. I had to run to the grocery store in the middle of the workday, which was fun. But I got lazy and I didn't want to go yesterday. I wanted to clean the house instead. So I guess I wasn't being lazy, but, and then finished up the workday. I took a nap because, I don't know, I just seemed to have to do that. And then I made dinner. It's pork chop. It's this new recipe I found. It's pork chops with onions and Granny Smith apples cut up and some brown sugar and balsamic vinegar dressing and stuffing. And I really liked it. I don't know if Brad liked it yet, but I thought it was really good. So now I'm drinking my dark chocolate coffee by Dunkin' Donuts. I have this weird routine where I have a certain coffee that I drink first in the morning, and then I have a second mug, but of a different flavor. And then after my nap and after dinner, I have a third mug. And lately it's always been dark chocolate. The only other thing I can think of that's new, and this I'm really excited about. So when we got Olive, one thing that we found out about her very quickly is that she hates other dogs. Like, vehemently hates other dogs. And it's been a problem, like a big problem. So the vet, I talked to the vet when we had gone up to Washington State for Brad's Christmas party at work. When I got back, I talked to the vet tech, and he had talked to the vet for me and found out which trainer she thought would be the best one for Olive. There's Olive. There she is. Hi. You decided to show up and say hello to your friends? I brought the screen down a little bit so you can see Pretty Girl. Hi. So she said that there's one trainer that she would recommend that would really be able to help Olive. And Olive, or not Olive, her trainer trains dogs to be service animals. So we met with her a while ago, and we've been trying to follow her advice. We had the trainer come, and she was practically doing cartwheels. She was so excited. She said that she's so much better. She said she was, you know, way at the top of one of the highest cases of anxiety she's seen with dogs, and it's really making her excited and happy to see Olive doing so well and listening and calming down a little bit. She's doing so much better that she wants Olive to go to a group training class next time. What? Like, but she wants her to go to a group training class where it's an advanced training class, like an advanced obedience class. And that way, the dogs that she's introduced to that get her used to being around other dogs are dogs that are already highly trained. And so they'll be easier to calm down if, you know, Olive gets rude. So there might be a lot of time during that training where we're sitting off to the side with Olive and not really in the class, just letting Olive observe and try to kind of relax. For the prompt, a book published within the last year, I chose In Honor of Broken Things by Paul Acampora. This book has 3 protagonists, Oscar, Riley, and Noah. And they all live in this small town in upstate New York. Oscar is a football star. Riley has just moved to town because her mom got held up at work in a diner and wanted to move back home. Oscar is a football star whose sister recently passed away from cancer. Noah is a kid who's been in homeschooling this whole time, and now his parents are getting a divorce, so he's got to go to public school. Because there's 3 protagonists, every 3rd chapter is from the next one's point of view. This one is about loss and failure and picking up the pieces and friendship and dealing with the hand you've been dealt. Again, it just keeps happening. I thought it was a really good, sweet, endearing story. I did find the characters to be a little bit surface level for my liking. They didn't go deep enough into the characters. I know some middle grade books do that, but I prefer a little bit of a deeper dive into who a person is. But I did really enjoy it, and I do recommend it. Also, I love all the clay and pottery making talk and references. It's really fun. They all meet in a clay making class, or a clay sculpting class. Makes me want to go learn how to make pottery. So now I'm reading A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. I am not real familiar with what this is about. A Ring of Endless Light by Madeline L'Engle is one of my favorite books of all time, but I've never read this one, which is bizarre, I know. So I'll just read you the synopsis because I'm not sure what it's about. It's a dark and stormy night. Meg Murray, her small brother, Charles Wallace, and their mother are in the kitchen for a midnight snack when a most disturbing visitor arrives. "Wild nights are my glory," the unearthly stranger tells them. "I just got caught in a downdraft and blown off course. Let me sit down for a moment, and then I'll be on my way. Speaking of ways, by the way, there is such a thing as a tesseract." Meg's father has been experimenting in this 5th dimension of time travel when he mysteriously disappeared. Now the time has come for Meg, her friend Calvin, and Charles Wallace to rescue him. But can they outwit the forces of evil they will encounter on their heart-stopping journey through space? And I'm not typically a sci-fi gal, but because I love Madeline L'Engle, I'm going to give it a chance. I did just start it, and I am enjoying it. This one falls under the category of a sci-fi or dystopian book. Obviously, this is sci-fi. I ended up DNFing A Wrinkle in Time, right around page 100, so about halfway through. I wasn't, at least not yet, I wasn't feeling connection to the characters. I didn't feel like there was a lot of character development. And I guess I felt like there was a lot of manipulation towards the kids happening. And their instincts were telling them that something bad was going on, and it was framed in a way that they needed to not listen to their instincts and to keep trusting, and it just really rubbed me the wrong way. I guess it was just the way that it was framed. I didn't like it. It felt like there was it felt like there was Bible verses that were being used to manipulate them into this being a good thing, and other verses and quotes from other things as well. And I don't know, I just didn't care for it, and it really surprised me because I really love the other book by Madeline L'Engle that I've read, which is A Ring of Endless Light. And then I was listening to Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus by Dusti. And this book is about a girl named Avon who was born with no arms. Avon and her family move to Searchlight? No. They moved to Stagecoach, Arizona, and her parents are going to be running this. It's kind of like an amusement park, but a really old one. And it has a couple different shops and things like that. And it's really fun hearing about this kind of carnival amusement area that they have and what's in there. It just kind of adds to the story a lot, I think. And it's really interesting hearing about Avon and how she does certain things. Basically, she has turned her feet into her hands, where she uses her feet to do a lot of things that you or I might use our hands for. It's just really fascinating to hear about. But her personality is such that she's just so refreshing. I found this story to just be so sweet and charming and kind of soothing. She makes some new friends, and one of her friends is Connor, and Connor has Tourette's syndrome. And I just really loved this book so much that I immediately started listening to the next book, Momentous Events in the Life of a Cactus. Since I didn't finish A Wrinkle in Time, I guess I ended up not doing a sci-fi / dystopian middle grade book. I did find a couple other ones, but I don't really have time to get them from the library and read them or listen to them. So I'm just going to call my middle grade March week over at this point. And now this book does have plenty of awards that are not Newbery Awards, so I'm going to go ahead and list those here. And just consider that the only prompt that I didn't do was the sci-fi / dystopian prompt. I really had a good time with middle grade March. I tend to forget how much I enjoy middle grade books and how much I can get out of them, even though I'm an adult now. I think that so many of us are still at our purest form the same person that we were when we were that age. I think that, sure, we may have learned different things and become a better or maybe even worse person, or maybe we haven't learned things, maybe we've kind of changed in certain ways, but the essence of who we are, I think, is still the same. And it's just kind of enjoyable to go back there. If you did middle grade March, be sure to let me know what books you read down in the comments. I would love to hear about it. And if there's any that you recommend, let me know. Maybe I can add them to my list of books to read later this year or next year for middle grade March. So this next week, the last vlog of March, I'm going to be doing March Mystery Madness. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to tune in. Do you want to say bye? Happy reading. Bye.